This is James Holder for iFL TV in association with Matt and Jim Marvell. With me, I've got the real gone kid, Paul Smith, looking about 9 years younger since the last seen you, mate. How you feeling?
I'm alright, mate. You?
Yeah, good. You look like you've got a real buzz about you at the minute, Paul.
I have. It's been a long time out the ring. I just want to get back in there. Been itching really to get back in and gutted over what happened in Liverpool. Just stupid viral infection, a chest infection. Tried my best to sort of beat it off and just get on with it, but probably a blessing in disguise that I didn't get in there. I wouldn't have been able to breathe properly at the end. So it was good. Things happened. You know, went over to New York, watching Stephen, trained well over there. Kept in the gym as soon as I got back, and I was going to fight on this bill anyway, regardless of boxing in Liverpool. So happy to be on, and just glad to be back in the ring under the lights again.
Went through a real strange sort of period of big fights, but not sort of in the UK. So yeah. This will be your first fight in the UK for nearly 2 years.
Yeah, it will, and it's been a long time. It's strange, really. You know, I haven't fought in Liverpool for a long time either, and I was meant to do that, but obviously Manchester, I've boxed in the MEN loads of times. I've boxed plenty of times in here, and I love it in here. So it's a great arena, and brilliant to be on the show with Crolla and 4 of the other lads out in my gym as well.
Big opportunity for Ismael Barroso. He's the mandatory challenger. He's coming to face Anthony Crolla, who's again in form at the moment, Anthony Crolla, and he always seems to find a way to win, to sort of nullify opponents. Firstly, how's camp been with Crolla, and what sort of his mood, if you like?
It's been good, and he's in a great place. His mood's brilliant. He knows what he's got to do. He knows who he's in with. He knows how well he's trained, and that he's put the work in and put the graft in. So he's confident, and he's got that little bit of confidence about him that a new champion has. And I've always said this. You see it from a kid winning his first schoolboy title right the way up to world titles. The next fight they have after winning that belt, you feel they're unbeatable, and that's the great part about Anthony in this fight. His confidence is through the roof. I think, but also is getting a lot of hype and praise put on because of the job he did on Kevin Mitchell. But I've said this time and again, you know, I'm a massive fan of Kevin Mitchell. I'm a mate of his. I like him, I really admire him. I've watched him since he was a schoolboy himself. But that wasn't the best Kevin Mitchell here on the night.
What a tough man Kevin Mitchell is, though.
Yeah,
give him his credit.
And, you know, remember, like, I was boxing on the same bill as him when he beat Carl Johansson. I was on the same bill in the O2, and I've been on many bills with him. And you're always going to get value for money from Kevin Mitchell. You're always going to get 100% work rate, and he's a quality boxer as well. I boxed on the same bill as him when he beat Breeders' Prescott. You know, what a performance that was. And he boxed absolutely brilliant, boxed out of his skin. I believe that Kevin Mitchell of old would have probably done that to Barroso as well, and I believe that's the job Anthony Crolla's got to do on Saturday night. He's got to take the sting out of Barroso early, not really get involved too much, and then put it on him late and see what he's got in the tank himself. But in the meantime, while you're doing it, pick up the rounds as well.
We've seen Groves Murray been made recently. Massive fight in the super middleweight division. Have you got an eye on these sort of fights domestically? Will you be fighting at super middle, or are you going to be at light heavyweight?
No, I'm a super middle. I've seen this loads of times. I'm a super middleweight, and you know, a few of the people asking, and I have wondered if they're having digs after time.
No, do you know what it was? Because your last fight was announced at, obviously at light heavy because it was a comeback fight.
Yeah, it was 12-6. I think tomorrow's the same. The opponent's pulled out with illness, so I've got a new opponent, and I think it's going to be at 12-6. But I'll probably be lighter than that, to be honest with you. I'm a lot lighter than that at the minute. So I think it's just people confusing. I missed one weigh-in in my life, you know, once
one weigh-in,
and that's it. You know, it's the one weight I missed. For it wasn't even a title fight really.
For Andre Ward,
for Andre Ward. You know, but that it was what it was. It was Andre Ward. It was an opportunity. It was a big payday. It was a chance to fight in the States. I took it in the States, but it's all gone now. It's all in the past, and I've got to move on. And I'm a super middleweight. I'm not nowhere near big enough for a light heavyweight. You know, the likes of Jose Burton, Callum Johnson in our gym at British level, they're light heavyweights. You go into the world scene, you've got the likes of Kovalev, Andre Ward himself now is a light heavyweight. The big lads, a lot of them are all big lumps, so I'm no light heavyweight. I've always said that, but the opportunities are going to be there at super middleweight, and that's what I want. That's my weight, and you know, Groves Murray's a great fight. It's a very good fight. I'm not even calling the winner out. You know, whoever wins is going to be eliminated, so they're going to be a step closer to fight for that title. I want to fight for them titles as well. You know, there's Felix Sturm, who we sat down and had a chat with over a fight and his first defence. It was all basically agreed verbally, but he's obviously gone and failed his test now, so it's going to be hard to make.
Obviously, Arthur Abraham suffering defeat as well.
Yeah, of course. He lost to Ramirez, who's a quality fighter as well.
Very underrated, Ramirez.
Yeah, he was. But we knew about him a lot.
Fucking about my press conference.
I saw that. Doing a Snapchat on you.
What you Snapchatting your
Send you
bollocks?
it straight away.
What was it?
Filming you.
So it is. Did you send us to fall asleep again? It's normal. What have you put?
I sent it straight away. I was just filming you talking.
Right.
Cool, mate.
See you in a minute.
How many minutes have we done up to now? 12 or 14?
Done.
I learned from
He's
the
doing
best, you know.
alright.
I
He's
learned
doing
from the
alright.
best, you know.
5 minutes 50, we're doing alright. We're doing too
I
bad.
can talk, but nothing beats him, does it?
Oh, mate, he likes to chat, doesn't he? He likes, just saying hello to him takes me 15 minutes.
Yeah, listen, that's the passion in him. I've said that for years.
That's not a bad thing.
Gets a bit of a bum stain, a bit of a name as being, you know, arrogant or whatever else, and this and that. And I've heard it being said about him before. You know, he's got 10 fighters there in this gym who all could go elsewhere and don't. You know, we want to be there in the gym. We get on great with him. And if you want someone fighting your corner and being passionate for you as a fighter, then he's the type of thing you want.
He's someone you want on your side, isn't he?
He will fall out with anyone for us.
But if he's not on your side and you're fighting against him, you probably think opposite. You know
of
what I mean?
course you will. Listen, I used to think that about footballers.
Yeah.
Can't stand Cristiano Ronaldo. I've never liked him. What a player he is. You know what a player he is. You don't want to get, but I'd love him in our team. Luis Suarez, absolutely loved him. I idolised him. You know, would have tucked him in with my missus and made him a cup of tea.
It's a bizarre dream thinking.
I wouldn't like to be against him on the other team. Costa's the same now. You know, players, people like that, and people like Joe, he would fall out with anyone for us fighters. Eddie, Warren, any of the promoters, any of the TV people.
Media.
He'd fall out with anyone for us, and as long as his fighters are getting treated right, and that's all you want in a trainer. You want your trainer to be there for you, trainer and manager to be there for you and to do everything for you in that sense, and Joe does that.
He's always been great with us, to be honest. He's always, even before we were sort of any use to anyone, he always gave us a bit of time.
He understands
and
the media and how it works. He understands the boxing game. You can't just get by and snob people off and just get on with your own work and expect to have the media attention and applauded, and or like the interviews and the media stuff doesn't really bother me. Doesn't really bother most of the fighters. You know, you'd rather probably get on without it, with all due respect, because you just want to train.
I understand that.
But you need it. You've got to have it. Otherwise, who's going to buy a ticket to watch you fight?
It works both ways though. Like,
of course.
If we don't sort of cover you guys, it's hard if you lot to sell tickets. If we don't get you lot, we haven't got a platform for people to watch boxing. You're not going to get anything.
Your advertising, everything that comes from it. It cuts both ways, and you know, fighters need the media, and the medias need the fighters. You need to cover the fighters. And boxing, we're always moaning about boxing not getting enough coverage. Sky do a great job now, and the newspapers are falling behind. But I believe newspapers are falling behind in general on everything.
They're starting to come back though, aren't they? Boxing's getting more column inches. I noticed 6 years ago when we first started, it would be me at a presser, literally just me.
It's no coincidence that we've got 12 or 13 world champions as well, though, isn't it? You know, the column inches are coming back when the champions are back. And it's a bit fickle and it's a bit frustrating, but you know, newspapers for me are a dying breed anyway. I don't buy a newspaper, I don't buy magazines, I pick my phone up in the morning.
What's your least favourite newspaper?
It goes without saying, doesn't it? You know, it goes without saying, but you know, newspapers like that.
Do you do boxing interviews for that paper? You do?
No,
never.
I remember in the Commonwealth Games 2002, Pat Sheehan, who's a good fella.
He's not a bad fella, Pat, is he? To be honest.
No, I've got no problem in saying that. No one would ever criticise me for saying that. He's a good paper. He just writes for a cunt of a paper. Good man. He just writes for a cunt of a paper, and he knew the score straight away. We were doing interviews in the press media room in the Commonwealth Games 2002 Manchester, and he asked me a question, and I knew he was from the Sun. I said, "You're from the Sun." I said, I can't do it. Sorry, but I won't answer your question. You know, every press conference I've ever had since then, 13, 14 years as a pro, he's never asked me a question, and he's put me in the Sun, but he hasn't put anything exclusive because I don't speak to him. So he's just listened to the notes as any other press does, writes down what I've said, but it's not from me. And same with my family, you know, Colin Hart, give him his due, he phoned my mother, and I kicked off on someone who told him to phone, because my mum didn't understand that he worked for the Sun, and my mum nearly spoke to him, and I phoned him and I said, look, don't do that, mate, you know the score. He said, that's why I phoned your mum and waited for you to come back. If she would have spoke to me, then I would have told her first, you know. But my man knew straight away once we said, nah, not for that. He knew, my mum then knew it was for the Sun and didn't do the interview. But little things like that could happen where you just don't know. If I didn't know who Pat Sheehan was at the time, I would have sat at the conversation with him. It'd have been the Sun the next day.
Yeah, this has been commissioned by the Sun, coincidentally.
Listen, I've had that. I've fought on bills sponsored by the Sun, and it wasn't nice. It was hard to do, but you know, what you want to do, I had to do it at the time because that was me promoted. That was the show that I was on. If you, I have no say over the sponsorship, and the sponsorship certainly doesn't come to me. I don't get a penny from the sponsorship. I don't get a penny from any logos on me. There's no logos near me or on me.
Is that purposely? You don't sell space, or just no one for the last fight or this fight's come sort of involved?
Listen, I'd love £1 million. I'd love £5 million. But if the Sun offered me £5 million tomorrow to sponsor me, I couldn't take it. I couldn't and wouldn't. I wouldn't morally take it, but I couldn't take it because I'd never be able to show my face anywhere in Liverpool and half of Britain again. You know, after what they did to our city and to them families, I wouldn't even contemplate taking it. You know what I mean? There's no amount of money you could take off them and people like that and an establishment like that.
Still going. Still right.
With a bit of luck, it won't last long until it's on its arse and shut down.
I'm not gonna comment on that, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
On that note, Paul, thank you very much for giving me some time today.
Mate.
It's great.
Welcome.
Great pleasure to see you fighting
And
back
you,
in
mate.
England. It's
Yeah,
been a
definitely.
while.
I know, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait Saturday night, and I think it'll be a good show as well. I think the main event's going to be a cracker.
Top man, Paul. Enjoy it, and
tune in.
hopefully it'll be a good night for you and the lads.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
Top man. Cheers,
Thanks
Paul.